Welcome to this energizing yoga HIIT sequence. You can stand at the top of your mat and lengthen your breath out and get grounded through your legs, just arriving here into this moment. And then start to shake off the day or shake off sleep. And you can imagine you've got gum on your fingers and you're just trying to shake that off and even bouncing through the legs. And this is great for the lymphatic system, as is this twisting movement. Just notice how the arms are really floppy. So just starting to twist around and bending the knees and letting the hips and everything turn and finding a spot further behind you with each twist. And coming back into center and then just shaking it out again 5 times. So kind of like a roller coaster, rising up and then shake it out. And twice more. Let it go. Last one. Beautiful. And then coming to stand at the top of your mat, and we'll begin interlacing the fingers and pressing the palms away as you exhale and round through the back. Inhale to stretch all the way up here. And exhale over to the right side into a side bend, back up through center and exhaling off to the left. And inhale through center. Now interlacing the fingers behind the back of the body and reach the knuckles back, bright through the chest. And then bend the knees and fold at the hips and reach your hands away from you as well as over towards the earth. And then like a rag doll, you can let those arms be heavy as you come all the way up, circling around and back to Namaste. And again, inhaling to interlace and lift the elbows. Exhale to press the palms away like a chair pose, rounding the back. Inhale to lift and brighten. And exhaling over to the right side. This time you could step the left foot behind and get a little more length through the side body, and then back up through center. And over to the other side, reaching and maybe stepping the right foot behind to brighten through that right side body. Inhale back up through center and once again interlacing the fingers behind you. Lift the chest and exhale to fold yourself forward again, active and reaching through the arms. Then releasing the hands down. You can nod the head yes a few times and take a spinal roll to bring yourself up, reaching out and up as you do so, and then the hands back through Namaste. So let us move through some sun salutes. You can inhale up and exhale to fold forward and down. Surya C, inhale, lifting halfway up. Exhale the right leg back, keep the back leg straight, and inhale the arms overhead. Exhale smoothly to the floor. Inhale back into a plank and exhale all the way to the earth for this first one. Inhale, rise up, Sphinx or Cobra, and exhale back down to the earth. Tone through the belly. Inhale, rise to your plank, and then back to downward facing. Inhale, right leg to the sky, and exhale the foot forward to the hands. Inhaling all the way up, palms touch. Exhaling, frame the front foot. Inhale, step it forward, lift halfway up, spine long, and exhaling, melting in. Inhale to rise up, palms touch, and exhale through Namaste. And going again, inhale, sweeping out and up. Exhale, hinging from the hips, lead with the heart as you fold. Inhaling halfway up and exhaling left leg back. Keep that left leg strong as you inhale and reach overhead. Exhale to the earth. Toned belly as you inhale back into your plank and lift through the belly as you lower again all the way to the earth. Rise up into your Cobra and exhale back down to the earth. tone the belly, let the belly lift you into your plank, and exhale to downward facing dog. And focusing on index finger, knuckle pressing down, and length through the arms, strength through the arms, and the thigh bones moving back. And finally the heels to the earth. And then you can take the left leg to the sky and smoothly step it forward. Lift through the right leg as the arms lift, and exhaling the hands to the earth. Recoiling, stepping forward, lift halfway up, and exhale, bowing in. Inhaling to rise all the way up, let the palms touch, and exhaling, namaste. Inhale again, sweeping out and up, twice more. Exhaling to fold forward and down. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale the right leg to the back of the mat. Bend into that left knee, rise up, palms touch. Exhale, smoothly gliding back to the earth. Inhale into your plank, and so this time you can lower just halfway down, chaturanga, do a little slide back, then roll over the toes, upward facing. Look into the belly, roll over the toes, downward facing. And then adding in a little tiger curl here, so inhale, leg lifts, right leg lifts, and exhale, curling in. Inhale, stretching up and back again, and then exhale the foot to the hands. Inhale to float up. Exhale, like there's a thermal beneath you as you lower back down. Inhale, lift, step forward, lift the chest, and exhale to fold. Inhaling, rising up again, riding that thermal as you rise up, and then the hands into namaste. And left side, inhale, sweeping out and up, and exhale, folding forward and down. Lift, offer as you lift the chest, and exhale the left leg back. Inhale to rise up, and exhale back to the earth. Inhale back to plank. Again, ride the thermal even as you lower down chaturanga. So you're hovering then into your upward facing. Then look into the belly, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Stretching your heels down to the earth and spine long. Stretch the left leg high and tiger curl, knee into the chest. Inhaling to stretch it up and back. And exhale the foot through to the space between the hands. Inhaling to lift, back leg bright, and exhaling hands to the earth. Inhale, stepping forward, lift the chest, and exhaling to fold yourself in. Inhaling to rise up. And exhaling, hands into namaste. Beautiful. So let us inhale, the arms out and up one more time. And come into a forward fold, into Uttanasana, and just hold there for a moment while I explain that we're going to move into the HIIT element now, which is the high intensity interval training. So we're going to do 30 seconds of high repetitions, but we want to maintain our beautiful yoga awareness of alignment throughout. So feel free to slow it down or speed it up as you'd like to. So you can come on up now and through your spinal roll, and then bring the hands back into namaste. So stepping the right leg back and getting ready for our lunge sequence, 30 seconds of your bending the back knee to hover just above the mat and coming back up. So you want to feel this in your front leg, and you get that by driving your front heel, left heel, into the earth. To turn it up more, you could stretch the arms up overhead. Do focus on that left knee moving out rather than it collapsing in. So you want to feel it in the left leg. Keep going, just 5 more seconds. And then we have a 10-second break, so you can step forward and pause. You might need to walk the legs out a little, and then getting ready, left leg back again and dropping the knee down. So remember, you want to feel it in the front leg, so that front heel is pressing down and the right knee is moving out. And especially as you're lifting up, drive that right heel down, and you should feel that right glute engage. Keep the chest lifted. So we've still got our yoga posture, yoga awareness of our alignment, even in this high intensity. And then coming out and pausing, maybe marching the legs a little. So second round, we're going to maybe turn it up a little. So step the right leg back, and this time knee into the chest. Step it back, drop the knee down and up into the chest. And of course, if this is too much, you can go with what we did before, or if you want more, you can jump for joy and stretch the arms up as you do that. So your choice, either stick with what we did, do what I'm doing here, or add in the jump. Again, it's that left leg that's working, doing all the work. And again, resting now, just march it out. And just one more set, so really go for it. And stepping the left leg back and dropping the knee down and lift. And if you're having trouble balancing, by all means, you can use the wall beside you. Remember, you could go back and don't do the knee into chest, or if you want to add more, add in the jump. And don't forget to smile if you're doing that. Just add in a little jump for joy, jump for joy. And just 5 more seconds. So stay with it, bend into that right knee, work that right glute. Beautiful, wonderful work, everybody. Okay, so that finishes our HIIT segment. You can now take a moment and inhale and open the arms out and bring the right elbow on top and into Garuda arms, and then crossing the left leg over. So if this is too much for your legs, if your legs are tired, just stay more in with the feet apart and standing tall. But if you're able to, even this could be a little bit of a strengthening exercise and sinking the hips down. So you can inhale up and then coming back into Namaste, open the arms out, and now your left elbow crosses on top for Garudasana, and crossing the right leg over. And again, it's yogi's choice. So you could not do the legs and just focus on the arms here if you need a bit of a rest after the HIIT session, or you could continue with a little bit of intensity and sink down lower. Finding a longer breath here, slowing your heart rate down deliberately. Inhaling to lift and exhale down through Namaste. And just standing at the top of your mat here for a moment. Then let's move through another Namaskar and inhale to lift halfway up, step yourself back. You could wait for us in downward facing dog, or if you'd like to, move into plank, lower, hover, chaturanga. Slide back, upward facing dog, look to the belly, downward facing dog. And then a couple of yogic standing flows. So inhale the right leg to the sky and then stepping the foot forward. Go ahead and shorten the stance here, and you may need a block. Shorten the stance and turn those left toes facing forward as much as you can. So this is like a baby Virabhadrasana 1. Interlace the fingers behind and lift through the chest. And then keep the right knee dialing out, right toes dialing out as you fold to the inside of the leg. And again, working with your breath here, use the exhale to sink in a little deeper, and ensuring your right hip is drawing into the midline as well. Reach through the arms to come up, and then even shortening your stance more, open the arms out and spinning around into revolve Trikonasana. And focus on the left chest drawing under, right fingertips reaching up and back, and that the legs are scissoring toward each other here. So you can then release the hand down and slide that left leg back so you're in a long lunge and then into plank, moving through your connecting vinyasa, up dog to down dog, and taking the second side. So left leg floats to the sky and step the foot through to the hand. Shorten your stance. So step the back foot in and remember to keep those right toes facing forward as much as possible. Inhale the arms overhead, then interlace behind. And then folding to the inside of the left leg. So you're looking to have the forehead moving down towards the left inner ankle. Keep the left outer thigh wrapping around and adding in a little bit of a movement of the right hip forward so the hips stay square here. Melting in a little deeper. And then reaching the knuckles back to inhale and lift you. Again, you might like to shorten the stance as we move towards a revolved Trikonasana, Parivrtta Trikonasana. And then bringing the right hand down onto the earth. You could have the hand to the inside of the foot as I do, or the outside of the foot. It's quite a strong hamstring stretch, so you could even bend the front knee if you needed to. Then releasing the hand down and slide that back foot back and moving back into your plank pose. Again, another connecting vinyasa, chaturanga, flowing to up dog, gliding to down dog. And then a second standing flow. Inhale the right leg up, add in a little tiger curl, knee into the chest. And then inhaling to stretch up and across the body now to the left armpit. Inhale up and exhaling to the right armpit. Inhaling up and back, and now step the foot through between the hands. So you want a nice, long, generous stance here as you rise up to a Virabhadrasana 2. So that right thigh parallel to the floor, and deepen the bend in the right knee as you reach the right arm up and come into reverse warrior, and even taking the bind so the left forearm can wrap around and catch the thigh. And that left arm can even encourage a deeper bend into the right knee. Keep the bind, straighten the front leg and come on out into triangle pose, Trikonasana. Straightening the front leg now, but focusing on scissoring the legs towards each other. And from that activation in the legs, then find length in the spine all the way to the crown. You could look up or look down, it doesn't really matter. Let's liberate that top arm and inhale back into your reverse warrior. Nice deep bend in the right knee, and then cartwheeling the hands either side of the foot to side plank on your left hand. You could have the left knee down, or you could take the top arm over and then again taking your connecting vinyasa, or you could even rest in child's pose here. Ready for the second side. So left leg can float to the sky, and again we've got those 3 tiger curls, so knee into the chest. Inhale to stretch it up, exhaling across the body to the right armpit. Inhale, get long, and exhale to the left armpit. Inhale to stretch up, and then stepping forward. Turn the back heel in and down, so you have this heel to arch alignment in your foundation, and the left knee stacking directly over the ankle. From your Virabhadrasana 2, you can reach the left arm back around to a reverse warrior, and then sneak that right arm around behind to catch hold of the thigh. Deepening your bend here. The tendency is to come out of the bend in the front knee, but try and go into it deeper. Then you can straighten the leg and come on out into a triangle pose. And so some people can find this pose to be quite a holiday, quite a break. You can do that, or if you'd like to, scissor the legs towards each other, and that'll add in this muscle energy, muscle activation, and it'll give you a feeling of ease and freedom in the spine, and particularly through the arms as you liberate the arm and then come back into your reverse warrior. And exhaling the hands down, ready for side plank on the right side. So right hand down, little toe side of the right foot active. Stretch the left arm up. Maybe lengthen it overhead and focus on shortening through the right side waist. And then exhaling to lower all the way down and just pausing with the forehead on the hands for a moment. Lengthening the breath out. So we are going to move towards another HIIT session, our second HIIT session, and this is focused on the upper body. So if you have any shoulder issues, you might like to skip the movement part, maybe hold stable, or you might like to skip it altogether. You know your body, so listen to it. So we start in Dolphin Plank. And you want to create this kind of hollow body shape, so lifting through the belly and scooping through the tail and lifting through the thigh bones. And you get that hollowing out by pressing through the forearms into the floor. So just 10 more seconds. Stay with it. Stay with that hollow body shape. Good. So we've got a 10-second break now. You can move into a Cobra or a Sphinx pose to release out of that. And then we come up to plank and we do this movement down onto one forearm, then the other forearm. So we're transitioning between plank and dolphin plank. So it may or may not be appropriate for your shoulder. We're halfway through the session, so if you need to just stick with your dolphin plank or stick with your plank pose, you're welcome to do that. And then coming down and again resting for 10 seconds, pillowing the hands. So we're going to repeat these again. So you can get ready now for Dolphin Plank and another 30 seconds of this, pressing the forearms into the earth and hollowing out through the chest and through the belly, thigh bones lifted but with a strong scoop of your tail, so tailbone aiming to the space between the heels. Stay with it, just 10 more seconds. Press the earth away from you. Then lowering into a rest pause again, 10-second rest pause. And we'll move into this plank to forearm plank movement once more. So you need to stay strong through the core and stabilize through the core throughout the movement. Notice how I'm alternating. So the last elbow that lifts is the first elbow that comes down. So there's an evenness to the movement. Again, we want to have that yogic awareness even through this high intensity session. Good work. All right. So pillowing the hands and ensuring that your breath flows deep into the belly. You could come into a Sphinx pose now and focusing in on lengthening the breath out again. So we'll take this now into a yummy pigeon pose stretch. Hopefully pigeon pose is yummy for you. So either from hands and knees or downward facing dog. Stretch the right leg high and then right knee, right wrist, and take the right foot across the body. So that interval, high intensity session was more upper body and core focused. So you could stay with this variation of pigeon pose, or if you wanted to, you could thread that left arm through across the body and wrap the right arm around and go into a bit of a shoulder stretch to release here. So in your pigeon, again, that very deliberate lengthening of the breath to bring the heart rate down. As yogis, we're looking to have this wonderful sense of control over our body, and yes, we can even control our heart rate to a certain degree. It's via the breath, so focus on lengthening the breath out and soothing the heart rate down, soothing the fluctuations of the mind as well. And unraveling from here and rising up again, either through your hands and knees or through a downward facing dog. You might like to then stretch the left leg up as we transition straight to the other side. Left knee to the left wrist and left foot across. So you can maybe take the foot closer to the front of the mat if you wanted more intensity. It depends how open your hips are. You do want to make sure that your sacrum is level to the floor here. So even if you need to prop up that left hip, you could do that. And just making sure that your hips remain level. And then go for a feeling of soft belly breathing, and you should feel the softness of your belly on your calf, your left calf. And again, you could take that variation where you thread the right arm through and get a bit of a shoulder stretch here, just to release after the high intensity in the shoulders. But how long can you breathe? How long can your exhale be? And the more that you can exhale out, the more complete the exhale. There's more space for the inhale, more space for freshness, for newness, for openness. And one last moment here, surrendering and letting yourself feel like a pancake that's been poured into a pan. And keep the left hip on the floor as you inhale your way up, and swing the legs around and come to lie down onto your back. So we will take a bridge pose here. Reach down and touch your heels with your fingertips. Your feet are hip width apart and parallel. And then moving navel to spine as you lift the hips up towards the sky. And then think length. So pubic bone and sacrum equally lengthening to the space between the knees. You can interlace the hands behind the body and focus on parallel feet, parallel knees as your feet drive into the earth and lift the hips a little higher. And then you can lower yourself down, pausing here. So it's not going to be high intensity, but core work, actually the slower you go, the more intense it is. So come to tabletop position. That's where your shins are parallel to the floor and thighs are vertical. Engage through your lower abdominals, pressing the lower back towards the earth and straightening one leg out at a time with your exhale. So you can see here I've added in hands behind the head, and go for the armpit towards the lifted knee. So it's not so much elbow to knee, because then that ends up just being a little bit of shoulder shimmy. We're actually wanting to lift the shoulder blades up off the floor as much as you can. And as you lift, then you're going to be really working your obliques and upper core as well. So the exhale lifts, the inhale lowers down, and take a rest. So you can then release, and we'll stretch out the belly by coming into another back bend, which could be bridge pose, Or some of you might like to rise up into a wheel pose, Urdhva Dhanurasana, where you can focus on the heels pressing down and be strong in the legs to move the chest so that it's moving towards the hands or the space between the hands. And coming down when you're ready, stay as long as you'd like. You can then come into Shavasana just for a moment to feel the effects, the fireworks from the back bends. And then some counter posing, so hamstring stretches, Utthita Hasta or Supta Padangusthasana is to stretch your right leg up and holding onto the big toe or the back of the thigh. So some of you might be able to stretch that left leg out. The trick is to keep that left thigh bone moving down and left heel pressing into the earth, particularly as we take the right leg out to the right. Here. And keep the left hip down and left thigh active. Inhale back up to center. So you could twist off to the left side with the legs straight. I'm bending my knee here. But there is this little movement of the hips over to the right side as your leg goes over to the left. And then to deepen the twist through the upper back, you could bring the left shoulder blade out. And lengthening the breath into the belly. Moving back up, realigning hips into center and hug both knees in. You can take a few circles through the knees, one direction, and then back the other way, feeling the lower back be massaged on the earth. And getting ready for the second side, so replacing the right foot down, and you can stretch the left leg up straight, or even keeping it bent is fine, either holding onto the big toe with the peace fingers or interlace at the back of the thigh. And then the right leg could straighten, doesn't have to. I've got my right hand on my thigh to encourage that right thigh bone moving down. And as the left leg moves to the left, that right thigh bone down and right hip to the right. So you don't want to disturb that beautiful foundation. It's not how far your left leg gets out, but it's more keeping this right side active and stable. And inhaling back up through center, again into the spinal twist. So that little movement of the hips over to the left side before you take your leg to the right, either keeping the left leg straight or you can bend it as I have here. And again, that little movement of the right shoulder blade off to the right might help to milk the twist a little more in your upper back. You can then come back through center and stretch your legs out and take a moment in Shavasana. Allowing the breath to be steady in the belly and the body to become completely still. So ensure that you are comfortable. We're not here for a long time, so comfort is so important because it will help your mind to become still. As your body becomes still, then your mind also becomes still. Like the sediment settling in a glass of muddy water that's just set still. Let all the sediment settle. Let clarity start to emerge. And bathe in that clarity. Receive that clarity and energy. And then awakening your body. You can wiggle the fingers and toes and roll to the side. We're going to come up for some alternate nostril breathing. So I like Vajrasana, but you could easily take a crossed legs position. So bringing your dominant hand up onto your face, and we'll take an inhale through both nostrils and exhaling through the left. Inhale through the left nostril and exhaling through the right. Inhale through the right and exhaling through the left. So that's one round. One round is 2 breaths. You can take one more round on your own. So we have this clarity and energy, and now feel the harmony, the balance that this breath technique brings us. So we can kind of stabilize in this energy and clarity as we prepare to move back out into our day and into our life. And that this clarity and energy may not only be of benefit to ourselves in our life, but also for the benefit of all beings. Take one last inhale to sweep the arms up, and as you exhale down, brush the thumbs over the third eye and to the heart. And thank you for your practice. Namaste.